I'd be scared to sleep here with so many experiments going on. What if I woke as something unnatural?
What would you have me do? I will aid you if I can.
You like me, eh? Don't fancy those clunky two-handed weapons.
Another new apprentice, I see. Are you of the sort that believe you're here to change the world? Or are you only in it for yourself? I assure you that I shall be watching you, all of you, very closely. Your superior and I were simply having a discussion about my level of access to the college. Well, perhaps that is why you're merely an apprentice here. Nothing you need to concern yourself with. I shall be quite capable of observing everything that goes on here. Now that stability has been established between the Dominion and the Empire, we seek only to help Skyrim, to guide its people through this time of transition, to help lead them to a better future. I am an advisor to the Archmage. The Thalmor wish to promote relations with your college. I am at the Archmage's disposal if he requires advice. Perhaps not as often as he should. In time, I believe he will be more trusting.
Welcome, welcome. We were just beginning. Please, stay and listen. So, as I was saying, the first thing to understand is that magic is, by its very nature, volatile and dangerous. Unless you can control it, it can and will destroy you.
Sir, I think we all understand that fairly well. We wouldn't be here if we couldn't control magic.
Of course, my dear, of course. You all certainly possess some inherent natural ability. That much is not being questioned. What I'm talking about is true control, mastery of magic. It takes years, if not decades, of practice and study.
Then what are we waiting for? Let's get started.
Please, please. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Eagerness must be tempered with caution, or else disaster is inevitable.
But we've only just arrived here. You've no idea what any of us are capable of. Why not give us a chance to show you what we can do?
You've been quiet so far. What do you think we should do? Is that so?
See, he agrees with us too. Why don't you actually show us something?
All right, let's settle down. I suppose we can try something practical. In continuing with our theme of safety, we'll start with wards. Wards are protective spells that block magic. I'll teach you all a ward, and we'll see if you can successfully use it to block spells, all right? Would you mind helping me with the demonstration? Are you at all familiar with ward spells? Well, then this should be no problem at all for you. Now, if you'll just stand right over there, I'll cast a spell at you, and you block it with the ward. Here we go. Over there, please, just opposite me. Wouldn't want anyone else in the way. Now, cast the ward spell, and keep it up. You have to keep your ward up, or else this won't work. I don't want to hurt you. Over there, please, just opposite me. Wouldn't want anyone else in the way. Hold still. Excellent work. Well, I think this is an excellent start. I'd like you all to continue practicing with wards, please. I think perhaps we're ready to begin exploring some of the various applications of magic throughout history. The college has undertaken a fascinating excavation in the ruins of Saarthal nearby. It's an excellent learning opportunity. I suggest we meet there in a few hours and see what awaits us inside. That's all for now. Thank you.
Still no word from your family?
No, and I'm not expecting any.
Really? That must be so nice. I came all the way to
Enchanting
Skyrim to
services
get away from my
are one
family.
of the few things that keep us in touch with the rest of Skyrim.
Oh,
I'm sure you can figure it out on your own. If you can't, perhaps Urag has a book you can read. No, I can't. I have enough to keep me busy. View it as a chance to hone your craft. I need some more supplies. Can you help out with that? I'm running low on common soul gems. 10 more would keep me stocked for a bit. So you do. Thank you. This will help quite a bit. There's nothing more I can teach you. Until next time.
If you require assistance with summoning techniques, please let me know. If you would, please also contain your summons to the college grounds. The locals do not need to be agitated further by Atronachs roaming their town. The summoning of undead is even less advisable outside the college. Ah, that, yes. The group prior to yours has disappeared entirely. It's possible that there was less than the necessary amount of oversight. That's still being looked into. But we've had no contact with them for quite some time now. Arniel wondered if perhaps they'd somehow managed to get themselves lost in the Outer Realms. But I think that's giving them too much credit. I'm not sure. None of them were working on anything terribly dangerous. As I recall, Ysra was trying to improve flame cloak spells to better work in Skyrim's harsh environment. Elos Tai was practicing illusion spells. She was having trouble with the calm spells, I believe, but only ever worked with skeevers. And then there's Borvir and Rundi, twins, though they rarely agreed on anything. Those two boys were obsessed with mead, convinced they could concoct something to compete with Honningbrew. Something about using frost magic to chill the mead for a certain period of time. I felt it was a waste, but the Archmage let them proceed. I sure know. Those archaic policies died out with the Mages Guild, and were never enforced here. Necromancy, as any other type of magic, is a tool to be used. Of course, non-mages may not see it that way, so we don't go around flaunting it. Not within society, no. Many who practice within the School of Conjuration do so on their own, secretly. Falion is the only one I know who is public about what he does. He was once my teacher here, but left the college years ago. He didn't like the Archmage, hated dealing with him, hated having to answer to him. Falion said he hated what this place was becoming, so he just left. Aron found a note on his desk, and that was it. I understand he settled down in Hjalmarch, and his presence there caused something of a problem. None. It's been long enough that, honestly, I don't expect to hear from them. You've already learned all I can teach you. How quickly you've advanced. Most impressive. There are spells yet to be learned. Powerful spells that can more closely and more permanently bind creatures to your will. But there are risks. There are always risks. You must summon and command an unbound remora. I will teach you the spell to summon the Dremora, but know that it will only work in a place properly prepared for the event. Once you have summoned the Dremora, you will order it to deliver to you a sigil stone from an Oblivion Gate. Once I have a sigil stone, I shall inscribe the spells that you seek. If only that were true. Summoning an unbound Dremora is not like other conjuration spells. It will not simply do your bidding. You must first prove you are in control. Here is the spell you need. Go to the top of the Hall of Attainment. I have prepared a place for you there. All right then.
It's lies. All of it. I don't care what she told you. It's all lies. Feralda, don't act like she didn't say anything. I know her, and I know what she's been up to. My problem with her? She's the one who has a problem with me. She's threatened by me, by my skill as a wizard, by my elegance and posture, by my superior good looks. But she is not going to get the better of me. Oh no, I won't let it get to me one bit. That's what she's after. She's trying to undermine my confidence, make me doubt myself. Well, it won't work, I tell you.
Don't trust that one. He's up to something. Most here are up to something, of course, but in his case, it's not good. I haven't figured it out yet, but I will. He is rather handsome, though, isn't he?
Well, I suppose I could use a hand with something, yes. Feralda's working on something, and I want to know what it is. I want her notes. You think you could get them for me without her knowing? I'll throw some money at you. Good enough? Just get the notes and bring them to me. If you can't do it, I'll find some other way to manage it. All right, then.
Mirabelle does a fine job as Master Wizard, I suppose. Still, there's always room for improvement. There's nothing more I can teach you. I dare say you've learned all I can teach you. But that doesn't mean there isn't more out there. Over the years, I've heard things. Powerful magics lost to the ages, incredible spells that only the most skilled mages can master. This is the only thing I've ever found. I think it's better off in your hands. It's been a pleasure.
You're not as dumb as you look. Stay safe.
Hey.
You consider restoration a valid school of magic, worthy of study, don't you? Don't you? Good, good. Not that I require validation, of course. There are just some, and I shan't name names, Who would disagree? It can make life difficult when one's colleagues fail to recognize the research one engages in. Well, no, not really. Not directly, I mean. But I know things are being said behind my back. Conversations cease when I enter rooms. I'm quite aware of what's going on here, and I will not stand for it. You've already learned all I can teach you. Spells and incantations for those with a talent to cast them. Mm-hmm.
I'm still waiting for those notes, if you can get them.
Let me give you some room.
Let me give you a bit of advice.
¿Y bien? ¿Te ha vuelto a enviar Delvin o has venido por tu cuenta?
Purposely killing your fellow college members is a bad idea. I'd advise against it. Theft and assault can get you into trouble as well. As for research, well, a sufficient explanation will cover almost anything. If you're going to need live test subjects for your experiments, it's easier to do that off of college grounds. Business? Business is actually inconsequential to me. I share little of your lust for coin. However, as promised, I'll still be more than happy to take any stolen merchandise off your hands. Give my regards to Carlia if you see her.
Please don't bother the Archmage unless it's absolutely necessary. Well, that depends on what you're looking for. Beralda can teach distraction spells, and offers training in that school. Finis is one of the best conjurers in all of Skyrim, and can help with spells from that school. Don't let Tolfdir fool you. He's the preeminent scholar on alteration. One of the best in Tamriel, and always willing to pass on his knowledge. If you can find him and focus his attention, there's a great deal Drevis can teach you about illusion magic. And finally, there's Colette. She may be difficult to get along with. She's very knowledgeable when it comes to restoration magic. There are no expectations. This college is a place to study and practice magic freely. Hopefully any discoveries made in your pursuits will be shared with the members of the college first. That way, we all benefit.
not your plaything, worm! Never! Death!
Over here. Is that?
I am not yours to toy with! No! I submit! No more! What is your bidding? Yes, my lord. Summon me again, and I shall have your stone.
Why are you carrying around human flesh? Ugh.
Your sigil stone, Lord Dagon, is less than pleased at its loss.
There are few places where one can pursue my type of work without fear of persecution. Mine? Oh, no. The stone is yours. I simply need to borrow it for a moment. Now, let's see what there is to see. That incident in Morthal was just a misunderstanding, no matter what the guards claim. I have the knowledge I need, and so you may have your stone back. And also, please, take this. You have done well. So you wish to master the arcane arts? Now if you'll excuse me.
You are new, yes? Have you mastered the expert-level distraction spells yet? Ah, this is good. But J'zargo will know them first. It is good to finally be around mages who may be able to keep up with J'zargo. Oh yes, J'zargo hopes to find things that will make him a more powerful mage here. Hopefully small things that fit inside pockets and will not be noticed if they are missing. There is much for J'zargo to be sure of. There is skill in magic, there is charm, and there is a strong will. J'zargo will be successful, of this there is no doubt. Oh, but you are wrong. The only reason you could disagree is because you are losing so badly you cannot see it. All right, then.
Before you even ask, yes, I have an ancestry steeped in magic, and no, I don't want to talk about it. Yes, I know Winterhold used to be full of my kind, and no, I don't care that they're all gone now. Does that cover everything? No, I suppose we haven't. Brillina Marion of House Tilvani. First of my family to leave Morrowind in a long time. Now I'm here to study conjuration. That's what's important. Why? Because it's old and full of dead things? Clearly, you've never spent any time in Morrowind. Not really. Just that it's very, very old. It was one of the first cities of men in Tamriel, I think. I know I don't like the way he looks at me. I can't tell if he expects me to blow myself up or to try and murder him. But he clearly doesn't trust any of us. Until next time.
Maybe we should ready our weapons, just in case.
New here too, eh? It's good to see another Nord. I feared I'd be the only one. Almost doesn't feel like Skyrim, being so far away from the rest of the world here. Magic is shunned by most. If it can't be swung over your head and used to crack skulls, most Nords want nothing to do with it. Magic is seen as something for elves and weaker races. I'd better get going. I find it hard to believe this excavation was approved. No. There's no chance anyone in authority approved this. Our ancestors should be allowed to rest in peace. I know he's from the Thalmor, and that he claims to be here simply as an advisor. I also know that no one really believes that. I've been trying to avoid him, honestly. Well, look at the evidence. Nords generally don't trust magic, so it's not off to a good start. Throw in the Oblivion Crisis, which was caused by magic users, and the troubles now with the Aldmeri Dominion, who are elves and magic users. And finally, take the fact that the college is the only thing left standing after most of Winterhold was destroyed. It's all fairly damning. I'd better get going.
And here we all are. Shall we step inside? There's nothing more I can teach you. At this very moment? No. However, well, I've been working on something. An improvement on the Ebony Flesh spell. I've made progress, but then hit a snag. I think perhaps you could help. I need you to collect some dragon scales, and not just any dragon scales. As I've said, I made some progress using the essence of dragon scales, but they're just not quite potent enough. My knowledge of Skyrim's history is far from complete, but I did some research and discovered two things. First, there are ancient references to dragon heart scales. What little I could learn suggests they may be what I need. Second, there are stories of a dagger called Calvozine's Fang, said to be sharp enough to carve individual scales off a dragon. First, you'll need to retrieve the dagger, then use it to carve a few scales off a dragon. Presumably a deceased one. That would be wonderful. I'll be sure and have everything ready. This is exciting, isn't it? Anything at all that might be of interest. That's why I adore this location. We have no idea what we're going to find. And if along the way my message about the dangers of magic should happen to sink in for a few students, that would be a happy coincidence. We're particularly interested in the prevalence of magical seals placed on the tombs here. It's rather unlike anything we've encountered. Not just any dragon scales, heart scales. Very special.
Necesitarás hacerte con el colmillo de cabo, Saint, por supuesto.
Then, if you should happen upon the corpse of a dragon, you should be able to use it to slice off a heart scale or two. Even just one should be enough for me to complete my research. Not much, I'm afraid. It was named Cavazine's Fang after the dragon worshipped by this particular sect of the cult. They were said to be quite fond of ritual sacrifices. So fond, in fact, that the high priest spent a great deal of time sharpening the dagger. That way, it was always ready for the next inevitable victim. Perhaps not the brightest spot in Skyrim's history, eh? All right. Please stay close to me while we're inside. It should be safe, but it's always better to be cautious. As some of you may know, Saarthal was one of the earliest Nord settlements in Skyrim. Sacked by the elves in the infamous Night of Tears, not much is known about what happened to Saarthal.
We should not be here.
This is an exciting opportunity for us to be able to study such an early civilization and the magics they used. Please be careful here. The site isn't entirely secured. Well, are there any questions before we begin? Ah, yes. Well, why don't you see if you can assist Arniel Gain? He's one of our scholars, here working on cataloging our finds. I expect he'd appreciate some help in locating any additional magical artifacts here in the ruins. Any enchanted items will do. The usefulness of the enchantment is irrelevant. If you find anything, the class can look it over. Now let's see. What shall we have the rest of you do? Onmund, please search that area over there. See if you notice any residual energies, alive or undead. Cesargo, what shall we have you do? Why don't you verify that we're the first ones here? Look for any amount of tampering with the tombs. All right, everyone. Let's be careful, but have fun.
Jazargo finds nothing but dust in these ruins.
Can you imagine what it was like living here so long ago? The first men in Tamriel.
Don't touch anything! He asked far too many questions about my research. I think the Thalmor are trying to steal my work. I haven't told him anything, of course. What I'm doing is far too important. Can't breathe a word of it. What? Ah, yes, you. I remember you. You're going to help? That's fine, just Just don't make a mess of my work. I've only looked through a portion of this section. You can look around in the chambers just north of here. Try and be careful, all right? We don't want to damage anything. Just round up the rest of the magical artifacts so that I can catalog them. All right, then.
What in the world was that racket? Is everything all right? How in the world did that happen? Really? Perhaps the amulet is important somehow. Is there some way you can use it? Do you see that? Some kind of resonance. You and the wall. It must be connected to the amulet. I wonder what effect might your spells have. Please be careful here. The site isn't entirely secured. Well, would you look at that? This appears to lead somewhere. Let's see where it goes. Well, this is highly unusual and very interesting.
What was that? What was that noise?
Why in the world would this be sealed off? What is this place?
Hold, mage, and listen well. Know that you have set in motion a chain of events that cannot be stopped. Judgment has not been passed, as you had no way of knowing. Judgment will be passed on your actions to come, and how you deal with the dangers ahead of you. This warning is passed to you because the Psijic Order believes in you. You, mage, and you alone, have the potential to prevent disaster. Take great care, and know that the Order is watching.
I swear I felt something rather strange just then. What just happened? I'm afraid I didn't see anything. Can you tell me more about what you saw? The Psijic Order? Are you quite sure about that? That's very odd. And danger ahead? Why, that doesn't make any sense at all. The Psijics have no connection to these ruins, and no one's seen any of their order in a long time. Perhaps we should take a look inside these coffins. Now, please do be careful. Who knows what we're going to find? They were a group of mages with a history that predates the Empire. Very powerful, very secretive. No one's seen them in well over 100 years. They vanished, along with their sanctuary on the Isle of Artaeum. I have no idea what connection they'd have to this place. I have no idea, but it's fascinating. Assuming it's true, of course. The Isle of Artaeum disappeared over 100 years ago, and no one has seen them since. And yet now, suddenly, they've chosen to contact you. Why, it's intriguing. If nothing else, I'd take it as a compliment. The Psijics have only ever dealt with those they feel worthy. Take care now. Oh no, you zombie! This is simply fascinating. Watch what you're doing. Never seen anything like this in Nordic ruins before. Why, just look at all these coffins. This bears closer inspection. I've never seen anything like this in Nordic ruins before. Why, just look at all these coffins. This bears closer inspection. I'd like to stay a while and examine this. You, however, should press on. See if you can find whatever this vision of yours mentioned. But if it is truly dangerous, be careful. Go on ahead. I'll be sure and catch up with you before long.
Let me give you some room.
Class dismissed.
I thought it high time I caught up with you. Be prepared to defend yourself. Well now,
Here we go again.
look at that. This is utterly unique. This is simply fascinating. I have no idea. This is amazing. Absolutely amazing. The Archmage needs to be informed immediately. He needs to see this for himself. I don't dare leave this unattended. Can you return to the college and inform Savos Aran of this discovery? Please, hurry. What are you doing that for? This is simply fascinating.
one there.
Okay, let's do this.
Let me give you some room.
Over here!